And it says we are live, so I must assume YouTube says receiving content and says my audience will see it in a minute, and now they're seeing it. So let's go into it, right? Welcome everyone to another edition of the 4GwQPodcast podcast. This is episode number 162 for February 15th, 2018, the day after Singles Awareness Day, which our man here, Assassin, who has not missed an episode, who has made it for 162 straight episodes, he himself every year on Twitter makes sure to wish everyone a happy Singles Awareness Day. Is that right, Assassin?
And then I eat a pizza, full, large, one-topping pizza, and not feel sorry for myself.
And not feel sorry for yourself? Or
Yeah.
Oh, you do feel sorry for yourself?
I don't. No feeling sorry.
No.
Delicious pizza.
Delicious pizza.
Oh, man.
That chocolate, right?
No, just pepperonis.
Okay, never say that again, especially with what we talked about prior to the show. All right.
Oh my god.
No, never again. Anyway, that was Assassin. We've also got making kind of like her fancy ass webcam debut. It's Taylor, aka Zebra Fries. What's going on?
Hi.
Looking great today on the webcam, I must say. But Assassin, before the podcast, when he turned his webcam on initially, he showed us his buff chest and how he's been hitting Planet Fitness pretty hard. So
We actually don't have one of those here.
that's a lie. There's a Planet Fitness
we don't.
everywhere. Are you kidding me?
There's not one in my city.
What's the local gym then?
We got a Gold's Gym, and then we
Oh,
got...
see, you've been working out with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
You can tell. I can see it, dude. Anyway, maybe we'll get you to bench press for charity on the podcast at some point.
Just for cheer.
Anyway, last but not least, we have Italian Clownz. What's going on, bud?
What's
And
that?
he's there, but he was muted for his dogs or something. I heard him briefly. All right, yeah, and I'm in front of 217 as usual. I can't say as always anymore because I missed like a whole fucking month. So, anyway,
Shame on you.
yeah, you're right, big time shame. I'm very, very disappointed in myself. I gave myself 10 lashings, as a matter of fact. Anyway, this week's probably going to be a shorter episode, I would say. We have 5 topics, but I'm kind of feeling a little sick all of a sudden. And I may run through these a little quicker than usual, but there are 5 pretty good topics. 2 of them I know are going to be pretty heavily debated. The other 3 are kind of like, just newsworthy, but wanted to include them. So let's not delay and get right into them. First off, Assassin, who's already put in like 3 days, has put in like 25,000 hours in a Monster Hunter. Well, first of all, when did you guys get Clownz and Assassin?
Oh, God. What did...
Got it the day of the Twitter poll.
Was it like
well,
Monday or
almost.
Tuesday at this point? Something around there.
I think it was Tuesday. So let's go with Tuesday. So it's been 2.5 days since you guys have gotten the game. Assassin, you have how many hours again?
According to Xbox, I have 16. I don't think that's been updated. There should be like at least another 7 more hours. Maybe not 7 more, like 5 or 4 more hours on top of that.
That's pretty savage. And Clownz, how much time have you put into the game?
25 hours plus.
Jesus, you guys are just going right at it, huh? So what do you guys thinking about it? I mean, I know Assassin, you said it was kind of slow at the beginning, but now that you're kind of like into it, it's been better, or what do you think?
Usually not into those like JRPG type things. I guess they're that one of those. And I'm not really a huge RPG guy. I don't really play Fallouts or other games like that, but I'll play like Skyrim and ESO. Pretty much it for my RPGs. And so I didn't know if I was going to like the game. I put a few hours in. I'm like, I don't know if I like it. Like I'm enjoying it, but it's not like, wow, like I'm having a bunch of fun, but it's not like I want to uninstall it. And I put a few more hours, played with Clownz and some other people, and get more into it, learning the ropes, learning how put monsters or capture monsters and kill them, and I've been enjoying it, and I feel like there's just so much content in the game so far that I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's things in the game that I wouldn't expect like a game to have, like especially games like something like you'll have like all these like sayings for some people, your character, other people say you can like customize that and all this other customization type things like I just wouldn't expect in a game like this because I've never seen it.
Dude, this is like exactly the reason why these games have not made a huge impact on the Western audience. Like, this is what people complain about, but also now all of a sudden loving, because people were like, oh, it's so complex. Like, the upgrading system is so complex. The game itself is so complex. Like, Monster Hunter is one of those games, like you said, you have to put a ton of time into to feel like you're even, making a ton of progress. And it's kind of, for me, it's scaring me away from the game because I've been short on time lately, but I really do want to try it. But on another hand, like, I feel like this is a game I could probably drop 60 on and play like well into this year, if not, to the end of this year and into next, and probably not do everything or even come close. So, yeah, it's a good point, Assassin. I mean, there is a lot of stuff that you probably wouldn't expect, and that like Western audience people probably haven't expected because they just haven't played these games well, like on console at least. I mean, I know there's been a couple on handhelds, but on console, I know a lot of people haven't dabbled into this too much, and they're pleasantly surprised.
And the grind isn't like so bad. Like, it's actually more interesting than a grind like you'll do in like Destiny. Like when you attack an animal, if you chop off its like hurt its head or chop off its tail and stuff, like you get parts for certain things, and sometimes you don't even get tail parts out of a tail, which is really weird, but it works somehow. Like,
never did I ever think that somebody would. Never did I ever think a gamer that I know, especially on this podcast, would be like, "Oh yeah, I kicked the shit out of that thing. Like, I chopped off the tail and I got an arm bone, but it was cool." Like, I mean,
it's not like you're getting like a tooth out of it. Like, you'd be getting scales or something. Like, you actually need some things need a tail, and you're not getting the tail. You're getting like a scale or something. Like, it's just added to the grind, but it's not a boring grind. It's a pretty fun one.
Mm-hmm. I know,
and the stuff doesn't seem so repetitive either. Like other games where you grind, like sometimes you'll like go for eggs, sometimes you'll go for a hunt, sometimes you'll go for an investigation or collect mushrooms. And the map, I mean, it's fun to explore the map, and it's not frustrating like other games. There is a mini map, and when you pass stuff, it does show up on the map. So I mean, it's leveled out pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool about it, because I know, we just talked about, or I just talked about, like the complexity and how that's been viewed as a negative thing. You guys both see it as kind of like a positive thing, even though it's, there is a grind associated. I know a lot of people are like, oh, grind, I hate the grind, blah, blah, blah. But to have a game where it feels refreshing, I guess, like different from games like Destiny or World of Warcraft or traditional grindy games, if you will, like Division, even if you want to throw that in there, like to have a game that essentially is on the same, I don't know, mechanic, but making it feel very different and good, I think is a great thing, because like we've just been so accustomed to hearing negative things about grindy games lately. Back when World of Warcraft came out, it was like the newest, greatest thing. Like, it was the next coming of Jesus. But now, people have been getting sick of it. But I feel like this game has kind of, put some refreshing perspective on it and brought a new way to do it. So, kind of cool. Real quick to the chat. GKB, Gamers Know Best, is in the chat. He says, Monster Hunter World is pretty awesome. Never played it. Never played the others at all. I think a lot of people haven't played the others. I think that's kind of why people are really loving it, too. He says, I like walking around punching dinos in the face. Good stress reliever. So is that something that you find yourself doing, Assassin and Clownz? Like, you feel yourself doing things not really for purpose, almost like like you would in GTA, or do you feel like you're always looking to do something for a very particular purpose?
Sometimes there's a purpose, like,
Ooh, Taylor just got knocked out. Oh, now she's back. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, some things we'll do for a purpose, like, try to get a specific armor set, which some of them look really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But then, sometimes, like, Clownz will get a quest, like we just did, where there was an arena where we had to, kill or capture a certain monster, and then there was, like, cannons and ballistas and rock traps and other traps coming in. Like, I know it was for a quest, but, like, that's something, like, I can see, if you got the game or other people, like, we would just go in there and just destroy, like a T-Rex type monster and, crush its head with rocks. Like,
that's something that's really cool about Inferno. Excuse me. Is that, like, it's not just one way to handle something. You don't just have to kill something, right? You could capture it.
Right.
Capture. And if you're in the middle of something and it gets too hard, you could throw up an SOS flare, and anybody online can join your... and everybody gets rewards for it.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, there's just so many ways to approach it. It almost makes it even more daunting for me listening to you guys talk about it. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I feel like I want a game like this that, there's... I know Sea of Thieves is right around the corner. We'll get into that in a second, whether or not, you feel like there's going to be as much content in that or not. But this game, I feel like, is just such a, like, wide variety of content that it's like, a game that is almost like a must-have in a way. But Taylor, I'm pretty sure you don't have this game, am I right?
I do haven't
oh my
played it.
goodness! Oh, you haven't played it. Oh.
Yeah.
You are missing out.
Yeah.
So, are you game sharing got it, or did you just buy it?
Game sharing.
Okay, so nothing has like motivated you to buy it, but are you excited for it after hearing all this stuff, or?
I mean, yeah, it looks interesting to play. I just need to get off the Smite train.
Right.
So, which I will try and do before I start school next week. I promise.
Nice. Yeah, I think after hearing you guys talk about it, I think I'm more excited for it to the point where I probably would grab it. I know it's sold pretty decently well. I think numbers came out recently, and it was like 3 million or close to 3 million sold or something like that. Or am I wrong on that, Assassin?
I thought it was like 6 million shipped.
Oh, wow.
That's totally different sold and whatnot, but I know it was like 6 something.
Oh, yeah. Almost. Yeah, you're right. Wow. So I think the number I saw was sold, but 5 million plus shipped, so close to 6 million shipped in 3 days. So, I mean, that's pretty substantial for a series that has barely seen the light of day in the U.S. So I think a lot of people are looking forward to this. I think it benefited hugely by being released at the time it was released too. I think like if this were released last winter, it'd probably get crushed, or like during the holiday. But now I think people are looking for something like this, and I think people are just pleasantly surprised.
I mean, what you just said is the reason why I kind of bought it. I was bored, and I wanted a game to play, so I picked it up.
Yep. I think a lot of people are in that position because, like, truly, unless you're a fan of the series, I feel like no one's kind of looking at Monster Hunter and being like, "Wow, that is a game is on my radar." Like, if you make your yearly purchase list of games of stuff you're anticipating, I never heard anybody put this on their radar. Like, we did our podcast, Anticipated Games. No one talked about this. I listened to a bunch of podcasts. Gaming podcast. No one put it on their list. So, I mean, this game kind of comes out and it's kind of like, okay, it's a new game. It's got a ton of content. Let me give it a try. And people have just loved it. So, it's not like a game you can rent either. It's not like a Redbox thing. Like we talk about new games on here, Agents of Mayhem. We've talked about where it's like, okay, just rent it, or, I know we talked about Shadow of the Colossus and people got pissed at us for our assessment of Shadow of the Colossus last week. But in my opinion, that's a rented game. Like you don't buy that. Or you buy it for a low cost because, I mean, we've been told by people since our podcast last week that there is a lot more to do, but at the same time, like, nothing is compelling you to do that. You're just doing that to 100% it. Whereas in this game, like, you're compelled to do all the stuff or a lot of the stuff.
It's definitely worth your 60, but if you're a cheap gamer and you're on a budget or you're frugal, I mean, I could see you picking it up for 30 to $40 as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
With everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think I'm gonna grab it. Are there any? I think I asked this last week, but did you guys see like any X enhancements at all?
Yeah, there's you can choose between, I think, frame rate, graphics, or resolution.
Oh, okay.
And I think it also has HDR on top of that.
Yeah, some of the images I saw looked really colorful, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Just depends on your TV. Mine's really bright. Assassin's was kind of dark. So it depends on what grade 4K TV you got.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Last thing on this really quick. Davidas NC, who has definitely watched the podcast before, I recognize that name, but he's in the YouTube chat. He says, or she says, it's sold more on Xbox than PUBG, which is unreal to me, to be quite honest. And I think part of that also is because PUBG was given away with the console. So if you're not counting those numbers, that may have hurt it. But at the same time, like, you know, even if you were to exclude those numbers, I mean, that is a big deal. I mean, PUBG was, you know, one of the most anticipated games on the console of its whole lifetime, I would say. The whole lifetime of the Xbox One. So, yeah. All right, anything else, Assassin? You want to grade it 1 to 100? No? Okay, cool.
Wait, what?
I said you want to grade it 1.
Thing.
I said you want to grade
Sorry, go ahead, and I'll continue.
I said you want to grade it like 1 to 100?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my Discord froze for some reason. I mean, I would probably like a 90 at this point. I mean, I haven't put much into it, and it's still, you know, like the first 10 hours it was overwhelming. So I'd love to put more time into it.
Nice. Yeah, I guess that's unfair to ask. Maybe I'll have to ask you like in a couple weeks. But anyway, we move on. In the most unsurprising news of the week, in my opinion, Hearthstone is not coming to the Switch, or at least not yet. So according to Blizzard, the game that makes incredible amount of sense on the Nintendo Switch is not coming for some weird reason. To me, the reason's obvious. Multiplayer sucks on the Switch so far. Oh, what were you going to say, Clownz?
More hacks.
Did you hear him? Did you guys hear him?
Something hacks.
He's cutting in and out, though.
I think he's saying it's a conspiracy. It's like a... I don't know. I can't hear him.
Conspiracy.
Anyway, right? I mean, isn't he like kind of glitching out? What did oh, piracy. Clownz is saying piracy. I don't know, like, how would you play Hearthstone? Like, would you have to get together with your buddies, like, old DS style, you know? Oh, Clownz is saying he's typing in the chat because he can't talk right now for some reason. Hackers Nintendo Switch firmware hacked. Wow, okay. Big news. We're not advocating you do anything like that, but I digress. Is the Switch touchscreen? I think the Switch is touchscreen, yep. Isn't it? Yeah. So,
I know because one of my controllers is not working, and so I have to select everything.
Oh, that sucks.
My hand.
That sucks. But luckily, like with that system, you don't. If you lose one of your Joy-Cons, like it's not a death sentence, you know, which is a good thing.
But I need to get my sentence fixed.
Absolutely. Remember when the system first came out and like the left Joy-Con just like would lose connectivity like 10 feet away from, or like 10 inches away from the console or some shit?
Yeah, the thing is mine are attached and my right one, the A, B, Y, and X buttons don't work.
Wow, that is really weird. Yeah, definitely send that in. Because those things are expensive as hell, man. I bought another pair for my girlfriend so we could play some games together. And it was freaking expensive. It was like, I think after a discount, it was like $63 or something like that for a pair. So, for like those two little Joy-Cons, it's crazy. All right, Clownz is going to rejoin us in a second. Apparently, his mic is screwed up in some way. But, so obviously, this is all going to be screwed up down here on the bottom. But, Assassin, I know you're the biggest Hearthstone guy on the podcast, so are you upset by this?
I'm surprised it's not like everything, especially like, Xbox One or PS4. I feel like that game, I know it's not mobile devices or anything, but I feel like it would have done pretty good, especially with the Witcher card game, whatever it's called.
Yeah, with Gwent. Gwent, yeah. Yep. I mean, everybody loves their card games on gaming systems lately. Like, that's been a really popular thing, and Hearthstone has been popular for many, many years, and I feel like the Switch is just like that next. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a quick get in real quick and get out kind of game. I mean, you don't have to play for like hours on end. I mean, the matches can be really short or they can be really long, but I mean, traditionally.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Usually it's pretty. The matches are like on the shorter side, so I feel like, and with the touchscreen, like was said in the chat, I feel like the Switch was like the perfect place to put it. But then, of course, Nintendo's multiplayer absolutely is a train wreck right now. So I think that's really the reason. But, and of course too, like the Switch can't be always online unless it's in your in your Wi-Fi range or whatever. They don't have 3G or 4G enabled switches as of yet. I think that's like the next step, but as of yet, you can't do that. So Hearthstone is traditionally like an always online kind of thing. So
I don't think it's a big loss, personally.
Really?
It's not that big of a deal, I don't think, in North America. I think maybe in Asia more people are upset about it, but it's not going to hurt the Switch at all. It's not going to hurt Hearthstone at all.
Yeah, I think it would have been a big splash, if you will. It's not necessarily a game that many Americans play is overseas, but it's not like a game that my friends say, "Oh, I got to play Hearthstone real quick." I mean, that was like 2 years ago when people play Hearthstone religiously, but I feel like it still would have been a big splash. Heroes of Warcraft. Everyone's like, "Oh, now this is on the Switch." I think that would have been a big splash, but at the same time, like, I wouldn't have gotten it, Taylor, you ever dabble in Heroes, in Hearthstone, rather?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, I feel like, man, I saw this news, I was like, dudes, people are going to get pissed about this, I need to add this to the podcast, and then, like, no one talked about it, which is, like, a sign that, I think that's a sign that, Hearthstone has kind of like run its course, and like people that were clamoring for it on the Switch, I think were just like diehards,
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to read what Supersonic Station wrote in the chat. Her son didn't support cardboard, so it's a no-go for Nintendo.
Yep. Fuck it. You're right. Supersonic Station, I think you're exactly right. It's absolutely not about the multiplayer thing. It's about the stupid cardboard things. What are those things called again? Oh man, it's got a funny name, right?
Yeah. Oh no, what is it?
Labo.
Yeah, Labo. Nintendo Labo.
Oh my god, man. My brother sent that to me. I'm like, is it April yet? Like, I thought that was April Fool's when he sent that to me, and I was at work, and I can't believe that's a real thing. Siberia says lame-o. Probably. I mean, watch it take off. Watch people like absolutely love that shit. It's for the kids, Big D50 says.
It is for the kids.
It is for the kids. Yeah, it's for the kids, man. It's for the kids.
How would Hearthstone child and I want it.
Right. I mean, if it's for the kids, consider us kids, right? Supersonic Station, Taylor read that, and it's all funny and everything, but like, how would you support the cardboard thing in real games? Like, I know you meant that as a joke, but like now I'm kind of thinking about it, and like, could that actually be a possibility? Probably not, but
cardboard cards or some stupid thing. I don't know.
Yeah, right. You have like a card. You have like an actual like board where you like put the cards on. I don't know. Forget it. Let me see in the YouTube chat. If I bought this, I would have to invest in a 3D printer because cardboard would not last. Yeah. So what's the point of that? Like, I don't understand. Who thought that was a good idea? I haven't looked into it enough, to be honest, but the Toy Con robot, like, have you seen some of this shit?
No.
Oh my god, man.
Coming from the same company that made what, Gyro? Remember that robot?
Yeah. Yep. Wow, I could do a whole podcast on that shit. Just trashing it. Anyway, no Hearthstone on the DS. Wow, on the Switch, not happening. All right, I was gonna do Sea of Thieves next, but I feel like doing Assassin's Creed next. So did you guys see this? Assassin's Creed, no new Assassin's Creed anytime soon. Instead, they're gonna just keep releasing some DLC for the thing. Apparently, Origins has done well enough that they think they're gonna get some money out of the people that own Origins because people are looking for some new, DLC content. So Ubisoft in a earnings call said, Yves Guillemot, the CEO of Ubisoft, says, "We're concentrating at the moment on Assassin's Creed Origins, for which we are going to launch a few other DLCs. So you'll be amazed by what will come on AC Origins. That's the only thing we can say for now." So they're being pretty mysterious about it, but they're being, proud enough to tell their investors they're not going to release another Assassin's Creed game anytime soon. So, Taylor, I know you're kind of like the resident Assassin's Creed person here. So, what is your take on this?
Well, I really do like the world of Origins. It's a huge map to go and explore. I still haven't completely perfected the game, which I really want to do. So for us to get more DLC on this, I'm fine with that, while they wait on another Assassin's Creed game. Because I want another Assassin's Creed game at this scale, and if behind the scenes of doing the DLC, they're also coming up with story for the next one, and doing all of that, I'm fine with that. Mm-hmm. Go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny because, like, I have this feeling that companies are, obviously going away from the yearly release kind of schedule, and Origins was like, what, 2.5 years after the prior one, after Syndicate? Mm-hmm. So
I think it was 2 years.
2 years, yeah. So they took a year off already to produce Origins, and people were wondering, are they going to come back and then go back to a yearly schedule, which I'm sure investors would have liked that because it means more money on new IPs and stuff. But at the same time, Origins, I feel like, was such a big hit that they can kind of sit back on their laurels and expand the world that so many people are so interested in, and sell DLC. Now, I don't know, like, I don't play I have Origins. I don't play it enough to know, be interested in the DLC to know how much it costs, because they've released DLC already, I mean,
yep.
Assassin, do you know how much it costs off the top of your head?
No, I haven't checked. Oh, been a long time.
Hidden Ones DLC. Yeah, I mean, they have some DLC. I don't know how much it'll cost, or it does cost. If somebody in the chat knows, please post it, because I'm not, like I said, I'm not like hugely into it enough to know. But it's interesting. It's interesting to see, companies go back to releasing a lot of single player DLC, because I feel like that hasn't happened lately, and people are getting pissed. Like, look at GTA. People have been looking for a GTA 5 DLC. That game's like 4.5 years old. So, anyway,
well, maybe a lot of bird watchers will be happy. Maybe they'll add in like different birds. And
knew it was coming. I knew it, dude.
I'm just waiting for it. Just kidding. No, I gotta say though, I think this is a good move for Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed, because they did create a very large world, and I love Assassin's Creed. I just don't like Egypt. However, regardless of what I like, it's still a great game, well designed. And I think if they keep adding to this huge open world, they can add more parts of the world and large expansion of DLC. Mm-hmm. Kind of what Bethesda should have done with Skyrim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can't, go against that at all. I think the yearly iteration thing is pretty much done with. And, it makes me feel good that I'm going to be able to, if I bought this game at $60, it would make me feel good that, I can pay $15 or whatever, gets a ton more life out of it. And then when the next one comes, they've taken the time to develop it and make it really fresh. Meanwhile, back in the day, it feels like, Assassin's Creed was just like reskinned and reskinned and reskinned. It kind of got stale and people are getting sick of it. And, honestly, I think it needed, like, without that 2-year cycle, I think Assassin's Creed may have, like, gone into the sunset, would have just died off. But, what I've played of Origins is pretty good. I haven't played a lot because I haven't had time, but I got it right at Christmas, or like right around Christmas. But, somebody put something in the chat that I wanted to get to. Oh, Siberia says the world is fucking huge in AC Origins, so much to explore, and then they're adding more DLC, so that's kind of crazy, right? But nonetheless, I think people are really happy about it. All right, David Austin says that the Hidden Ones DLC is €10, so I don't know how much that is in dollars, probably like around $15. Season Pass is €40, so people aren't necessarily totally for season passes, but I feel like if it's for single player DLC, they don't care as much. So I think, and somebody said you got the season pass, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think it came with the most expensive version of the game, which is what I got. So.
Right. Yeah, I probably did. So you're going to have to tell us how all this DLC is when it comes out.
I know, like, you guys got to get me off Smite.
I know, seriously. Like, we're going to have to somehow uninstall that off your console. I'm going to have to talk to you.
If it helps.
Lock it.
This might help. Zave Blazem, a big Smite player, Star Hunter World now.
Is he really?
He has over 150 hours in that.
Stop it. Does he? I'm going to have to talk to that boy. I'm going to have to talk to him.
I'll look it up, because I know a few people already had over 100 on my friends list.
On what?
Monster Hunter.
Oh. Yeah, don't look at my time in Smite, please.
Oh.
No, we'll have to. That means do.
Wait. I was going to type Monster Hunter, but now it's Smite.
So this David Doss says that he thinks Ubisoft's changing tactics on all their games, more like games as a service, and I definitely do agree. But like, is single player DLC games as a service? I'm not sure it is.
If they keep expanding the world, I think it can be.
Yeah. Is everything going to be like completely intertwined, or are these DLCs going to be like separate offshoots, or what's it going to be? If they keep just expanding the main story, the main world, yeah, then definitely, absolutely. And so I think that's how Ubisoft is kind of like making a 180, because I remember Ubisoft, like, as recently as like a year and a half ago, was in big trouble, looking for people to buy them out and stuff like that. So, and then they did get bought. I think they got bought like almost majority stake, right, by some company. Who is it?
I think it's Viacom tried to do a hostile takeover.
Yeah.
From the original family-owned Ubisoft.
Yeah. Yep. So, wow. So it's been posted in the chat that Taylor has 1,124 Smite hours. That is ridiculous. I'm sorry. That is ridiculous. Let me convert that into days.
Don't do that. Also, that's not accurate. That's the amount of hours that it's been open. That's not game hours.
Yeah.
All that's when it's forwarding to the Xbox app, so it's still on the hours.
That's like 47 days. Wow.
Okay. Let me get to the site that tracks only game hours, because it's less than that.
Is it gonna
watch it be like
123?
Yeah. Watch it be like 45 days. It's just like, I told you it was less. I told you.
It is less. I know that for a fact.
I definitely had that screen open while I cooked dinner one time, so it's definitely like 45 days.
It's 714 hours and 2 minutes.
Oh, 714 hours now. Okay, let's go and do that math. That's still like a month of playtime. That's like literally a month.
It's better than 1,000. Over 1,000.
That's the bright side of it, definitely.
Also, all of those extra hours of it being open is waiting in queue.
Oh, true. Yeah, true. No, that's actually a good point. That's a good point. Okay, I'll give you that. I thought you were like
10-minute queues before.
I thought you were like trying to bullshit us like Assassin does on that, like waiting at the title screen while he goes and cooks or takes out his dogs and all that shit.
No. It's absolutely waiting in queue or spending money in a free game.
Oh, spending money in a free game, yes. So I just got tricked by my nephew. This is totally off topic, but it's a fun story. So there's this game on the iPhone. It's called Dune. Have you guys checked this out?
No.
So I have an iPhone now. Oh, well, it's not my main phone, but I have one for work. And there's this game called Dune, and literally all you do is, like, it's a circle and it's in a sand dune. You like have to make it go along the ramps and like get a certain height, and you score points by doing that. And if you crash, like, it's over. The game's over. You have to restart. So you have to like make a streak of going down like the valleys of the dune and stuff and getting above the height. So anyway, it's free, but there's a ton of ads. It's like an ad every time you die. There's an ad. And my nephew tricked me into buying the $2.99 for ad free. He's like, "Oh, get rid of the ads." I was like, "How much is it?" He's like, "It's only $1." And I reached over to my phone, like, you know, the iPhone has like the touch. Well, the older iPhones have the touch thing, and I reach over and I touch my finger to it to like authorize the payment, and I'm like, "No," because I read it was $2.99. Like, as I was doing it, I read it was $2.99. I was like, "Shit, you tricked me, kid."
What a tool.
I know. I wasn't reading it, dude. I trusted this kid. I don't know why I trusted a 10-year-old to buy.
I never trust a 10-year-old.
Yeah, that was bad.
Didn't I tell you that kids are very smart with trying to get around?
Yep, we've talked about that in the podcast. Absolutely.
I know, because I was one of them.
Yeah, Taylor was the devious one on the podcast. Taylor and Assassin were like the most devious ones on the podcast. You can tell it because Assassin's been lifting a lot of weights. He's playing on something. Anyway, so that's the update on Assassin's Creed. Like it, love it, or not. I don't think anyone's really ready for another Assassin's Creed game yet, so I think the DLC thing is kind of cool. And for people who spent all that money on the highest edition, like Taylor, you're probably extremely happy about this news. So
very happy.
David says he worked for that buy. Yeah, he did work for it. He lied. He played it off. He didn't even have a smirk on his face. You know how little kids lie? They have a smirk on their face. You can already tell. He totally was just like waiting there, like, and I had to reach over and grab. No, I was like, I would literally like try to pull away, but it was literally too late. Like, I was right there, and I was like, oh no! In the iPhone, the fingerprint sensor reads it so quick. But anyway,
just wait until he plays one of those games with $99 loot crates or card packs. Swing around there.
Speaking of loot crates. So our 4GwQPodcast loot box update, which I feel like we talk about this like every month on the show. So now we talked about Belgium having problems. We talked about a couple European countries, you know, in London, you know. Say it again, Clownz. What do you say? Do you guys hear him?
I don't know.
He keeps cutting out.
Drop out and drop back in, Clownz, because you're scrambling again. Anyway, so in Hawaii, we've now gotten some legislation in the House and the Senate to restrict sales of loot box games.
All right, I'm back.
Clownz is back. All right, Clownz, what were you saying?
Germany as a whole wants to just ban them completely.
Yes, that was the other big one. I couldn't remember. Belgium, Germany totally wants to ban them completely. Now, this Hawaii thing isn't necessarily banning them completely. I know, Clownz, I'll let you kind of explain it because you brought it up and you wanted to talk about it on the show, but they're not banning it completely, right?
Be able to pass legislation to ban restriction. Like, you know, so minors can't buy games with loot crates or chance packs or anything with chances that Hawaii considers gambling at the legislative level.
Right.
Government disagrees and whatever it's called, the ERSB or ESRB. I always get it wrong, but they disagree with this. But Hawaii says, no, you know, it's gambling. There's a chance percentage, so it is gambling. And they also want the odds printed on all the games as well. Yes,
so that's an interesting one because people are saying, oh, this isn't a big deal. Washington State just did this. They're trying to introduce legislation or whatever. But Washington State, they're introducing legislation to just like make it a law that they have to, or make it enacted into mandate that they have to like get together and discuss it. Whereas Hawaii is kind of already decided. They're like, this is absolutely gambling. Loot crates are gambling. And we want to put it forth to make it a law that on the back of the boxes, like say there's a loot box system and there's like hundreds of things, like they're going to have to list the odds of getting all those things on the box. Like you're almost gonna have to tape like a separate sheet of paper or something. Like I don't know how they're gonna do this because some of these games have loot boxes where there's just like hundreds of things you can get, and the odds are wildly different for all these things. Like how are they possibly gonna, show the odds?
They could always do by color tier. So like maybe platinum or gold could be like maybe a 2% chance out of drops or something. Something like that. They could do by color tier.
But then if you go on Call of Duty, some people want to know the chance of like a certain, guns compared to epic uniforms. They're both classified as epic, but they want to know the chances of that, or the chances of getting a stupid calling card versus a stupid emblem.
That's where the law probably won't be clear. They probably won't make them clarify that. They'll probably just go by color tier.
Yeah, I would imagine that's the only way they could do it because you would literally be listing like hundreds of things, and I know like Assassin, you just said it, and you're absolutely right. Like there are things within color tiers that are different, likelihoods of getting, and everyone wants to know how am I going to get that one item, and there's just no way they can have all those in the box, and then you get into the possibility of like, what if they release more items that you can get from the loot chest? It's not like you can add those to the box, you know what I mean? So what are they going to have to do? Like in Hawaiian regions, what are they going to have to do? Like, like every time you start up the game, update it'd be like, update, we added these things to the loot chest. Oh, and by the way, you have to accept that this thing got introduced, but you only have like a 1 in 800,000 chance of getting it. Like, do you accept? Like, no? Okay, you can't play the game. Goodbye. That's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, Assassin, what do you think of all this nonsense?
Good for these people for doing what, try to get rid of them. But the question is, they're gone. Are we going to go to like a Rainbow Six Siege type of thing where you can get in-game currency or you could just outright buy it, or they're going to do things like, I know we're going to talk about Thieves a little bit, where you just have to buy it and have no way of earning that in-game. Well, we don't know that for sure, but
right.
I want to clarify that too, because they'll make even Rainbow Six Siege clarify the percentage in the packs. Even though it's in-game currency. Whether it's in-game currency or real money, they'll have to clarify percentage odds.
Right. So anything that you can buy that's like not certain that you buy it. So like in Sea of Thieves, we'll talk about this in a second, because Sea of Thieves, there's not going to be loot crates or whatever, but there are going to be items where you can, buy them outright. They probably won't have to do that. But anything where you're buying a chest where you're unsure of what you're getting, they're considering that gambling. That's what the big hoopla is about, and that's all spurred up, of course, by the Battlefront 2 saga, where people were progressing by buying loot crates, and you didn't necessarily get an item that you like played the class with, so it was really, really random. It's not even like you earn things that you are playing to earn, if you will. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Taylor, what do you think?
I don't like this at all because I don't see loot boxes as gambling. And the Game Theorist actually put out a really good video on this. It is not gambling at all because of the fact that you get something in return.
Mm-hmm.
Gambling by definition is you're betting money, but you could lose all of it or you gain more. And this, it's basically you're buying something, but it's a mystery what you're buying.
Right. It's almost like, it's actually kind of a good point, because I never even thought of it like that, because, you go to the casino, you gamble, you put a coin in the slot and you pull the lever. Like, you could win nothing or you could win something. But in this case, you are always getting something. The problem is the reason people are crying about it is because like some stuff has way higher perceived value than like the common stuff, which I get that. But at the same time, like, what about sites where, like, you buy, like, there's a site called Woot, or there used to be. It was bought by Amazon. And you literally bought this thing called a bag of crap, right? It was like $5, and you, like, buy it. It's called a bag of crap. Like, look it up. It's true. This is 100% accurate. And it was like $5. I don't know if it was $5 or $10 or something like that. And you bought it, and it literally could be, like, jack shit Like I remember my brother bought one and it was like, you know, like little kids bracelets and like Smarties and like ponchos and stupid shit like that. And that was like considered a waste of $5 essentially. But then one guy bought a loot box and posted on Reddit, and literally this company delivered like a pallet full of flat screen TVs to his house. You know, so is that gambling, or is that not gambling because you actually did get something? It was just, you know, you took a risk on what you got. You know, that's actually an interesting point, Taylor. That's
It's still not gambling. You're getting something in return for your money.
Right.
Whether you wanted it or not, you're getting something in return for it, which by definition makes it not gambling.
I wonder if that's the sticking point elsewhere, you know? Like, I know Hawaii kind of, like, has already decided this. I know Belgium has, Germany has, a bunch of other places have, but I figured that once, like, one of the states in the U.S. have done it, like, individually, I feel like that would kind of, like, tip the scale to other states considering it, but I feel like no one is kind of making a stink about this. Like, none of the other states are really, like, commenting. Like, Washington kind of proposed it. But, like, none of the other states are being like, yeah, we got to look at that, too. Yeah, we got to look at that, too. Like, no, not everyone's, like, falling in suit.
See, there is another legal definition of gambling that, you know, legislators can use. And it's just basically saying take risky action in the hope of a desired result. It does not have to do with anything financially.
Interesting. So now there's, like, murkiness on whether or not, like, which definition you use of gambling. Whereas, like, in the U.S., like, well, I don't know. Maybe it's just casinos worldwide. I mean, I've only been to, like, a few casinos in my life. But you walk in and, you know, you go up to a slot or you go up to a game or whatever, and you gamble, like, as we think is of gambling. Or you, like, even if you buy a scratch ticket, like, you gamble. I mean, you literally could just win nothing or you can win something. You don't always win something, you know? And that's what we think of gambling. But maybe, like, other places, people consider what you just said, Clownz, and you're just like, you know, I didn't get nearly the value that I expected or could be expected. You know, that's... Oh, go ahead, Clownz, go ahead.
A lot of these sites and you know, journalists are taking for granted Las Vegas's term of what gambling means and what the Gambling Commission set forth. But there's so many different other court definitions of gambling. It could just mean taking a risk or loss, meaning lose money for the risk of something better. It could just mean playing a game of chance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Court can define it as so many different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the riskiness. Like, Taylor's point, I actually really do agree on. Like, I never even thought of it like that. But I really do agree with that. Like, I don't think it should be banned. I don't think it should be not, like, Hawaii doesn't want to sell these games at all to people under 21. I think that would be a huge hit to the industry. Obviously, Hawaii, I don't think is like this hotbed of gamers where there's just like an unusual amount of gamers there. But if that were to trickle across the U.S., I think it would be a huge impact on gaming, obviously. So, I don't know. I think people are kind of overreacting, to be honest, but... Assassin, what do you think? Last word on this.
Oh, did you say that they would have to make the games age whatever 21, right?
21, yeah, 21, yep.
Well, so, you know, we have games that are, you know, 18 plus. People can't, you know, buy games, you know, unless you're 18 plus. Well, there's parents still going to buy games if it still says 21 on the box for these kids. Like, there's no... you know, reason. I see the reason why to change it. But
yeah, yeah, you're right. I mean, just like the mature rating game fiasco, like a kid walks in, tries to buy GTA, you can't buy it. You know, he goes to his mom. Mom comes in, buys it. You know, all the GameStop employee has to say is like, you realize this is rated M for this, this, and this, and the parent says okay, and just does it. You know.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's really our loot box update. I'm really interested to see like what happens with this. I hope it doesn't take a really long time because I want to kind of find out what the finding is, because I feel like once a U.S. state does it, it's really gonna trickle. Not that Germany and Belgium are important, and Germany is definitely a really big hotbed of gaming, but at the same time, like, U.S. people are pretty ignorant and they just care about what happens in the U.S. a lot of times, and I feel like if it happens at home, like, people are gonna really, really, take notice. So,
Real quick on this.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
You know, Hawaii is basically becoming a leader in tech laws. They just passed a law that will file corruption charges against any ISP that throttles or violates net neutrality, regardless of the FCC's ruling or Congress's ruling.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I like that. I like that. Special Assassin, you should definitely like that. You should be over there like cheering, like excited for that information since you're gonna get your shit throttled.
I swear it's happening now. Like,
Probably
like,
is.
I'll literally just watch my internet. Like, I should be getting 50 down, like 6 or 7 up, and I'll look, it'll be like 200 kilobytes. I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, that's not the internet I pay for.
Is that gambling?
Be gambling with the internet if we don't get what we pay for, and it's a chance.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Dude, I'm paying way too much for my internet, so if I don't get the speeds I deserve, yeah, I'm gambling.
So we're gonna take this to court too?
People are, yeah. I mean, like, man, the net neutrality thing is just so juicy.
Well, good news real quick. I know before we got to move on to another topic, but
Yeah.
according to Motherboard, one of Vice's publications, I believe, Ajit Pai is under investigation by the FCC for corruption charges.
Really? And so what are they going to do?
They're going to have to do a full-fledged government investigation. Who knows what the outcome's going to be, but I'm sure it's going to be sore on his record regardless, you know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Man, I feel like the government is getting into this shit like way more than they have in the past. I mean, obviously it is way more advanced, but still, it's like, did you hear about like Donald? I know this is totally off topic too. This is like the off topic podcast, but did you guys hear about how Donald Trump wants to have a national 5G phone network? Like he wants to essentially buy like all the spectrum of the wireless service in the U.S. and he wants to like rent it out or like lease it out to T-Mobile and AT&T and all them.
That's called a monopoly.
Well,
And
That's illegal.
Yeah, the government isn't supposed to interfere with inter-trade commerce and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. It's like antitrust in the government itself. And more or less, it opens up for spying activities across the world.
Yep.
The good guy at FCC, Ajit Pai, says, "Oh, that rumor, that's just a rumor. It's not true." Even though every publication picked it up.
Of course he is. Yeah, of course. He's trying to downplay that. It's amazing how like much that guy's been shat on. You know what I mean? Recently, it's crazy. All right. Well, the last topic moment you guys have been waiting for, moment Assassin's been waiting for, because he can't wait to get his hands on this game, and neither can Verge or Polygon or Engadget. I mean, everybody's kind of like universally loving Sea of Thieves. Like, I feel like it's true.
Except for Clownz.
Except for Clownz, yeah. Except for Clownz.
Clownz is the only person.
On it. What a jar of dirt when it first launched.
Have you seen Pirates of the Caribbean? Jack Sparrow has a jar of dirt. I expect a jar of dirt and Sea of Thieves.
Dude, watch there be a jar of dirt in Sea of Thieves.
There has to be.
You should submit that.
Yeah, submit that, Assassin.
There has to be an Easter egg of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, everybody but Clownz is pretty much liking this game. I feel like the game when it first came out, like people were like, "Oh, you can't do anything. Oh, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do." And now, like, you know, they released the public, or not public beta, but they had a beta where you could stream it. So now it's gotten a lot more publicity, and they've released a whole lot of new information about it recently. I mean, the game's only out in like a month or so. And I know Clownz and Assassin, you guys have played it pretty recently, way more recently than me. So
we played Sea of Matchmaking Errors. We didn't play Sea of Thieves, Sea of Matchmaking Errors.
I'm not gonna hold that against them because it was a beta alpha test, whatever you want to call it. So
if you have an alpha for the whole year, beta should run pretty smooth.
You can't crap on this game.
wait, what?
What?
It's crap. He was calling it Sea of Matchmaking Errors.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Listen.
What we heard is you can't craft
Being negative. It's being negative.
Oh, like you're not about to go full negative in a second.
Listen, it's not that I hate Sea of Thieves, or not that I don't like Sea of Thieves. I love the idea of Sea of Thieves. I love everything Rare has done, especially Battletoads. That was like the best thing ever. Everything, you know, all that other stuff is crap compared to Battletoads. But the artwork in Sea of Thieves is fantastic. It is amazing. The lore is epic. Content. Everybody keeps saying what Windows Central released. Oh, it's great information. It's epic content. So much stuff is coming. When I read every single article for Windows Central, here's what I got. You're going to have skeleton mobs. The same exact skeleton mobs. The same. They look the same. Not different. The same. Come out of the sky from nowhere. Just like Destiny drops, what are those vandals or whatever they're called, on an island. And it's the same mobs. That's it. Just skeletons or your NPCs for at least 3 to 4 months, speculatively speaking. Customizable underwear. You get to pay for your pets. Sure. There might be some lore that they're not telling people, like maybe hopefully 99% of the stuff hasn't been released yet. That's what I'm hoping for. But the only big boss they announced so far is the Kraken. I need to see content. If this is going to be a games as a service, I want a lot of content to come out. It's been so long in the making. They've hyped this thing up so much. It can't be 3 to 4 months like Bungie's roadmap, because that thing's failing. Their game as a service is epically failing. We need to see something maybe 2 months out with big story quests that last hours and hours. Not just some casual crap you jump in, jump out. Oh, I find a chest in 2 hours. I take it back to the town. Or I hunt the skeleton mob for 2 hours. I take it. No. Hours worth of quests. Like Skyrim, but in Sea of Thieves. Pirate lore based.
I feel like they're being very... I don't know. They're being like extremely secretive because... Like even down on the mini map, like there's no real mini map. You have to go on like a table on your ship and look at the map. I feel like they're being really secretive about what this really has to offer, and I feel like a lot of people are digging that because a lot of people know that there's probably going to be a lot and it's going to be all exciting. You know, they don't know exactly what to expect next. But then there's people like you, Clownz, and I'm joking when I say that Clownz is the only person hating it, because I have seen some people, you know, obviously Jeremy Downer on Twitter, if you guys know him, he's been trashing it. A lot of people are just like in Clownz's camp. You know, we've seen skeletons, we've seen a Kraken, but there's got to be more, right? There's got to be, like, for as massive as they're saying this game is going to be, there's got to be a lot more. Yet all these big publications are praising it. It really doesn't, to me, like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense if, you know, and Clownz is right. Like I've looked around. All I've seen for like enemy types really is like skeletons and the Kraken essentially. But I don't know. Is the point of it really enemies, or is the point of it fighting against other people? You know, like PUBG kind of. Well, not PUBG exactly, but like, you know, the point is to go around, explore the world, get the loot, show off that you're a badass, and like kill everybody in your path, you know?
I'm wrong, but when I read Jez Gordon's article from Windows Central, it sounds like there's going to be a PvE area specifically for the ship battles, so that some people don't have to worry about go pick up a chest and they getting their ship shot down and be like, oh no, I'm going to lose my treasure.
Right. Yeah. Kind of like in Division, right? Remember, like the dark zone, you can get your shit stolen, and like in the regular zone, whatever they call it, you couldn't, right? So I think that's kind of a smart idea, but
fine with me. I just need content,
right?
You know, the Division lacked content in the end game, and Destiny 2 definitely lacked content from the beginning. I mean, what did Activision say? Oh, you know, this ain't the whole game. What you played through. Well, crap, it was like the whole game. So I need Rare to prove us wrong.
Right. The unfortunate thing that's wrong with Rare is that, like you said, like people have tried to do something like this in the past where they didn't show a lot and they're like, oh, there's way more or whatever. And when they were shown that they were wrong about it, like it was a huge problem. So now other people are kind of expecting the worst, instead of expecting the best. Like this game has all the writing on the wall that of being something where there's a ton out there, you know, just like if you're a pirate in the open seas, like there's a ton out there, you just don't know where it is, you know, and it could come at any moment. Like the Kraken thing you were talking about, right? That boss literally like comes at any moment. You don't know it. It's not like scripted. It kind of just happens. Like all the events kind of happen and people like that. But at the same time, like people like to know what they're getting themselves into. So, Assassin or Taylor on this? I don't think have you played it, Taylor? Or
No, I've seen gameplay of it.
are you interested at all?
Yeah, I am. But I know that it's lacking content right now, and I know one of Clown's major issues with it in the Discord chat was that a lot of the content coming is cosmetic stuff. But people love cosmetic stuff.
Oh, yes, they do.
They love it. I mean, Smite, look, I've spent so much money in Smite, I don't want to admit the amount of money I spent on cosmetic stuff alone. There's only one purchase in there that is actually worth it, and it's the God Pack.
But correct me if I'm wrong, though, Taylor. In Smite, you can see your character, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can, but I think the point of the Sea of Thieves stuff is like, I mean, at least for the stuff that you unlock, maybe not the microtransactions, but the stuff that you unlock, you know, like you take down the Kraken, you may get this like cosmetic thing that like shows other people that you've taken down a Kraken, and that's a very valuable thing to be like, I'm a badass, like don't come after me because I've already taken down a Kraken, so I'm probably gonna, you know, whoop your ass kind of thing, you know. I know that's not really to the point, but I mean, I think that's why the cosmetic stuff is so important in this game.
One of the things that gets me on this cosmetic stuff is that you can't really see your character in Sea of Thieves. Like it's pretty much like a first-person point of view. So if you buy, let's say, like this really cool tattoo, wow, I got this badass tattoo. Oh, I can't see it. Hey, Assassin, check out my tattoo. Can you screenshot it for me?
No, that's not the point. The point of that then is to just show off the cosmetic stuff that you have to everyone else.
Right.
Which there are games like that.
Right. Yeah, they've been first person games that are like that, like
Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean like Call of Duty. Yeah, I mean there's one.
You can see your character in the lobby.
Oh, you can see your character in the lobby. Maybe there is a way that you'll be able to see your character, and we just don't know.
Maybe when you're like customizing your character.
Something that I saw about Sea of Thieves that I'm not really a huge fan of is that I guess you can't customize your character other than your outfit. Like you pick from 8 or so pre-selectable characters. There's no like real big custom character editor or anything. Like you can't make your own face and stuff like that.
Look at the Division. Like the character creation was so lackluster that you'd run in the same person that you were, and they haven't created that.
Right.
So I mean, it's not really, I guess, a big deal.
No. Sea of Thieves, it feels like to me like a magical Disney game. I'm just waiting for Mickey Mouse to pop up.
It's just because of the cartoon style.
I like this game. I really do because I like Rare, but I just show me more stuff, man. Like you're a big company, you're backed by Microsoft at this point. You got all this money. You know, Microsoft canceled Fable Legends, which seemed a lot cooler than this, and crap ton of characters.
You cut out a little bit in the middle there, but I got your point, and the point is well heard. I mean, I agree with the point. Like, I don't think that this thing has so much content that I'm just like jumping out in day one. I think a lot of the content is cosmetic in nature, and I think there are people out there that are really digging that progression. Like in the YouTube chat, Chicken Spaghetti, a good friend of the show, says, I love the idea of cosmetic progression. It's not how you see your character, but it's how you're perceived by others. Like, your progression is not necessarily like a number or like having more powerful weapons, but it's like your perception out in the open seas. Like, that's kind of emulating what pirate lifestyle is, right? Or like how hierarchy was before or in the olden days. Like, or even today, like more fancy clothing, like you're perceived as being higher in rank or whatever.
I mean, in pirate days, you'd be able to like literally cut somebody's head off.
Maybe you can.
cartooners to be that violent.
Nice. watch the game come out and watch it be like this sick and sadistic way. Well, not like sick and sadistic, but watch it be like this really unassuming way that you'd not assume at all would like kill somebody, and it does. Like watch
cool,
you.
Like I would love to be able to, let's say that you took on like 4 other guys on a ship or something, right? Kill like 3 of them. There's 1 guy left. There should be an option to capture him and make him walk a plank or something. That would be kind of cool.
That would be cool. Yeah,
I would like that.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I agree with that. But I don't know. I feel like the narrative has shifted a ton recently, and I don't know if that's because the big guys have gotten involved, like the big sites have gotten involved, or if people are just liking it more the more they see. I don't know, but I feel like there's been just an overall huge shift, even though the game itself hasn't really changed too much, right? From what you guys have experienced.
Oh. Yeah, in front of, correct me if I'm wrong, but you remember when Cliffy B was coming out with Lawbreakers and all the biggest site was like, oh, well, Cliffy B, the legendary game creator, Lawbreakers, it's going to be so great.
Yep.
Came out.
Yep, trash, devoid of character, yep.
I don't want to see Rare go down this path, and I know that Craig Duncan and Microsoft really put a lot of money into this game, a lot of time, and I just hope that Rare is not afraid to release the big content sooner than later.
Yeah. Well, apparently, we'll get into this next point here, the microtransaction thing, right? Like, they said there's going to be no microtransactions whatsoever for the first 3 months, and then 3 months later, there's going to be ways to buy cosmetic items outright. No gambling, no loot crates, no ambiguity whatsoever. Like, you pay for what you get. And so... you know, I feel like this is the right move to take. I feel like that's a positive view for a lot of people. So I feel like I guess the point of that is I feel like Sea of Thieves is doing like very small things right. You know, they're showing off a little bit of content here that looks cool. They're showing that they're not going to do microtransactions for the first 3 months, but then it's eventually going to be just cosmetic items that like pets and stuff. And, you know, they're doing, and what we're going to get into in a second with the specs list that just released of what kind of computer you need to play the game. I feel like they're doing like so many like little small things right that they're just like building a positive perception. But in the end, it's all about like, what are you going to be able to do? You know? But I mean, everybody talking in the chat right now is talking about like emotes and custom and like character customization and like outward appearance. Like, I feel like I don't hear a lot of people talking about actually playing the game. Like, I feel like a lot of people talking about like, you know, being a goof off on your ship and like, you know, having a parrot and all this crazy shit. Like, I feel like people aren't talking about, you know, end game or anything like that. Like with Destiny would say, oh, what's the end game? Or Division, what's the end game? I feel like no one's talking about end game with Sea of Thieves. You know, it's really weird. It's really, really weird.
That's because they're selling this as a games as a service. And a lot of people are expecting all this massive content. Like, a lot of people are expecting massive content that has not been announced yet. And if Rare doesn't deliver, Inferno, all these big sites are going to like blast this game.
Yeah, churn on it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I hear that. That's true. But Taylor or Assassin, what do you guys think that they're not doing loot boxes? Like, is that a positive thing or?
Well, I mean, with laws going on now, it's a positive thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to get in trouble, so good for them. But like, I feel like there's just been such a negative perception on microtransactions in general. Like, this is probably like a move that could have been bad for them, but I feel like it comes out as good in the end, you know? So, do you guys agree with that?
Well, I feel like with the removal of loot boxes, like, I have a feeling you might, like, obviously earn them in game. And we won't, like I said this earlier, like, I don't know how their microtransactions are going to work. But maybe, you know, they're obviously it's going to be paid by money, but what about people who don't pay money? Like, maybe I've just played all these games with loot boxes that you earned in game that maybe, you know, I need to not grow up. That's not the word I'm looking for. just move past that and expect, not to earn these things.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kind of pisses me off, because I know, like, some like Assassin's Creed or Fortnite, they have these things that look cool, but I'm not going to spend, especially in Fortnite, they released a skin that was $20. Exactly $20. Like, I'm not going to pay that just to look cool. Like, I'd rather earn it.
What were you going to say, Clownz? I heard him start saying something.
I was just going to say that, as far as the microtransactions, one thing that Jez Gordon specified was that you have to buy the pets, like, you can't earn them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there's a crocodile, I'd probably buy the game just for a crocodile. Peter Pan.
Nice.
But earn the crocodile. Like, maybe do something in battle with the crocodile, get some stripes on its back, or lose a couple teeth, or blood dripping from the mouth, or make it eat somebody's pet and hold it in the mouth. Something cool like that, but no. I gotta wait and see.
Yeah, I mean,
see, I'm not being down on it. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. I mean, if you could earn it in game, I mean, I feel like it would make so much less money that it wouldn't even be worth, charging little amount of money for it. Like, like if a hat was, say, like they've done the analysis and a hat is like they charge like $2 for a hat, but you can absolutely earn it in game in some way. Like, I feel like that's gonna hurt sales so much. So, like,
not necessarily. Look at Rainbow Six Siege. You can buy something for like $2. Well, you would have to spend $5 to get the credits, or you could spend that same, whatever. Like, it would be like 400 Rainbow Six credits, or it'd be like 30,000 renown. Like, it's a ridiculous high amount of money. But you can still earn it. It might take you like a month to get it, but you can still get it.
Okay, so you would rather, I got it. So you'd rather there be like a ridiculous threshold of getting it instead of not being able to get it at all.
If a parrot, let's just say it was $5, okay?
Yeah.
And let's just say it could be like 30,000 gold. Now I don't know how much gold you earn for chest and stuff, so that would have to change. So, if you get a bunch of gold from chest, it could be like 100,000, or if you get nothing, like 20,000, like I said.
Right. I think what Rare is doing to kind of counteract that negativity about that and to kind of like satisfy both ends of the spectrum on it is the whole thing that Chicken was just saying in the YouTube chat about the progression unlocks for the outfits. Like, you may not like it, but you could have an outfit for defeating a Kraken that would be worth way more than anyone could. You're not gonna be able to buy that in the store, but it's gonna be worth a lot more, theoretically in value because you defeated a Kraken and you're gonna show you're a badass. Like, that's gonna be worth way more to some people than like a $2 parrot that you can't buy, that you can't get normally. You know what I mean?
No, or it'd be cool to have like have like an RNG type thing where you kill a Kraken, you might get, you have a chance of getting a Kraken pet. Like just a little Kraken pet. To scare people, or like a Kraken armor set or something. Something cool. That has no buffs or anything. Just, you see someone and they're like, oh my god, they killed the Kraken like 20 times. They must be pretty good. Let's run away. Or run away.
Maybe they will. Maybe they won't limit it to just clothes. Maybe you'll be able to like drape like one of the legs of the Kraken or part of it like over your neck or something. Or I don't know, whatever. Like, I feel like they can't divulge everything. So like people are just going to wait and see kind of. But, I hear what you're saying. Makes sense.
Or they could do something where you can earn like a parrot in game, but if you want like a blue parrot, that's like $2. If you want an orange parrot, $2. You want an orange and blue parrot, $2.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's true. It's true. I mean, not getting the pets thing I can see. I mean, I don't know what you're going to be able to do with the pets. Like, did they say whether or not you can, use the pets in any way, or do they just kind of follow you around?
From the article, it sounded like you put them in the cannon and launch them, but, they're not going to, like, you buy, like, a crocodile, like Clown says, and it's not going to, like, solo the Kraken. You know, it's social purposes.
I would want it to eat like somebody's cat or dog or something.
You're not gonna do that.
No, they want to do that. But I mean, if there's a dog, it could pick up kill a skeleton, something. It could like pick up one of the bones or something. You know, something interesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Speaking of which, did you guys see? This is again off topic, but did you guys see that for the Winter Olympics they had to stop serving dog in restaurants in Korea because they normally do serve dog, but like all the people are getting outraged, so they had to like take it off the menu for a bit.
Wow.
Oh man. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you have microtransactions, you're gonna piss some people off. If you don't, you're gonna piss some people off. Like, there's no winning. You know what I mean? I feel like they've tried.
With the pets, one thing that Jez did say in his article was that, let's say Assassin gets a dog or a cat or whatever pets are in the game, I would be able to go up and touch it, pet it, play with it. I can interact with it even if I don't have a pet yet.
Mm-hmm.
Just be that guy who shoots out a cannon and be like, you can't have fun with us.
There you go. There's something Siberia said in the chat was that I think if you don't get a good crew, you know, you're kind of effed.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of agree with that too. Like, I mean, Rare has symbolized this game as a type of game to bring gamers together. Gamers, hardcore gamers, everybody gets in the chat, has fun, drop in, drop out kind of stuff, even people that aren't your friends. But what if just like alone by yourself on Xbox Live, you're like, man, I want to make some friends, so I'm going to hop on Sea of Thieves, and you go play Sea of Thieves, and the crew that you join has 3 people on a party chat by themselves, and they just leave you by yourself. It's going to give you a bad taste for this game.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they need a PvE, server, because people can be very cancerous. You've seen it in many, many, many games.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's just not fun. Like, I mean, I'll go PvP with people, but by myself, yeah, good luck. Bad. I'm not, PvE server.
Right. And they've made such a huge point of this being a game where you need other people. Like, you can't man your own ship properly by yourself, so I mean, these are valid concerns. I don't know. Like, I feel like this is a game that would encourage you to make new friends. So I'm like, for me, I'm not too worried because I have people that I would play with. But like, you're right. What if you hop in, you have absolutely nobody to play with, and it'll totally ruin your perception of the game because you have to rely on other people so much. Supersonic.
And also,
go ahead, Clownz. Go ahead.
I was gonna say right now the game limits you to like a 4-man crew, and he said that could change depending on the numbers of the game in the future. But I mean, even in your case, Inferno, I mean, we all have a lot of friends on Xbox Live, and sometimes we just game with certain people at certain hours. So like, if you get home from work, all your friends could already be crewed up,
right?
And then you're there, and you're like, man, I really want to play Sea of Thieves, but everybody's already partied up.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of got some shitty points like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, it's true. It's true. I don't know how they're gonna, I think maybe they'll have like some in-game thing to encourage people to maybe join up or like to find a crew or what they're gonna do. But I mean, I feel like the Division, like everybody wanted to crew up in the Division at the beginning just to do it. Like there wasn't really this huge benefit of crewing up, but people just wanted to do it inherently because it was a game that you like almost should be doing that in. But Sea of Thieves, like, I feel like they need to kind of incentivize it, Supersonic Station says he's had a single player wipe out a whole 4-man crew and ship. It depends how good you are and strategy. So, I mean, could you be viable as a single person? Absolutely. Like, I'm not an expert in the game to say that you absolutely need a 4-man crew, but I mean, to run the ship efficiently, you need more than one person. So you definitely need a crew of some sort.
Well, they do have single-player ships now.
Yeah, but like, what if you go up single-player ship against one of the bigger, like, 4-player ships? What then? What? I
mean, you're at a disadvantage for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be picked on more. I mean, if you're in a 4-player ship, you see this one guy and it's by himself in a ship. you might have gold. You could just pick on them super quick because you can't do much.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
That's all your gold.
All right. I mean, I don't think there's really much more to say about this. I mean, it is coming out in a month. If you want to just try it out, I mean, get Game Pass for a month, right? And just try it out for like $10 if you don't already have it, or get like a Game Pass trial, or whatever. But
Or just wait, like 2 months. And
just
see
wait for it to drop in price.
the
Right?
roadmap. No, the roadmap. What the roadmap is for content.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. You can play the wait and see game. Exactly. I was gonna talk about this, but I don't know. I think people should just like Google this and check it out because I think it's interesting. They totally talked about how they want to make the game accessible to like every kind of platform possible on Windows, like every spec, every CPU, RAM, GPU. Like they really are trying to make it available to everyone. And so if you have a PC of any sort, like even like a bargain bin Walmart one, you probably can run this at some capacity. So go check out that spec sheet. But I think my computer fits into like the 4K 30 area. I have a 1070, so I'm not going to be able to get 4K 60, but 4K 30 on the Xbox, so that's good enough for me. All right, and that's it. I think we're finito. My girlfriend's like yelling at me in the background, but not really yelling because she has already made dinner ahead of time.
Excited for Sea of Thieves?
She's super excited for Sea of Thieves. Doubt it, actually. I'm gonna ask her at dinner if she is. I don't think she even knows what Sea of Thieves is because I haven't really played it around her. It's interesting because the games I play around her, she knows really well, like Horizon Zero Dawn or like Last of Us or like Forza. Like I play a lot around her. She actually really likes Last of Us and Horizon for some reason. She really likes the story of those, but Sea of Thieves, she'll probably be like, what is this cartoony shit? But we'll see. Anyway, all right, that's it. We're out. Peace out, Cub Scouts. Listen, find us everywhere. Search 4GwQPodcast everywhere. Check out the site. YouTube, if you're watching it, you like this, thumb that up. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell so you're notified when we go live. And yeah, 4GwQPodcast is our Twitter handle as well. So follow us on there to get notifications on when we're going live or doing any events or any giveaways or anything like that. All right. We're out of here before my girlfriend kills me. See you later. Peace.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Best outro ever.
Best
Good night.
ever. Right?
Laters. See you later.